Hello and welcome to D&D 5e, Heart of Ruin. How's everybody doing?
Excellent.
Groovy.
Yeah, not too bad.
Awesome.
We've been gone for a little bit. I took a minute break from DMing for a week to recharge my batteries after realizing how long I've been DMing on a week-by-week basis without a break. So, it was a nice break. It allowed me to flood my system with video games that I haven't had time to do. But we are back, and I am ready to throw these guys in this melting pot of poop. So who wants to take the honor of doing last game's recap?
Someone who remembers, not me.
Someone who was there.
Wait, I know why I don't remember. I was not there for like 2/3 of it.
I mean, it's yours if you want it. It feels like a fever dream to me.
Okay, so
No, fuck it.
let me start this. You guys were at the church, right?
Yep. Start out at the church.
You all
with
found a book.
investigation. We found a book on an altar. It was supposedly belonged to the former bishop of the town, a semi-high-ranking church member. Detailed how he and the church had actually screwed over our mutated little friend called Sarandel and stolen his daughter away from him back when he was a drunken fool, which caused him to leave town and go on a wacky adventure, ended up with him becoming a pit fighter in Garda. We also learned that there was some sort of profane ritual at the top of the bell tower and some sort of weird shadow monster lurking below the church. Not wanting to deal with that, we ran away and found a house with a young boy in it. He showed us how he'd fortified this house and all that. We told him that it was going to keep him safe, and then we all took watches and went to sleep pretty much. Over the course of the night, we all took watches, spoke to Sarandel, everyone had little character moments with him. And during my watch, Scram heard some singing. He had a peek out the window to see what it was, and to discover a white figure seemingly covered in blood. He told Vannon, who had woken up by the disturbance, not to look through the window, who then proceeded to look through the window and then punch a hole in the window, letting the unfortunate ghost in, which possessed a poor young lady and dropped a whole load of lore and plot in our laps. And I think now we're talking about going back to the church, although Scram and Kane were pretty adamant on the idea that they're not going. That's how I remember it, at least.
I have in my notes that we decided that we were going to, at dawn, follow
Most of that was
into
guesswork.
Yeah,
follow the
and
latest passes.
guess who that was? It was Annalise,
Oh.
Sebastian, and Bannon. Kane and Scram wanted to protect the people. They weren't going to leave them.
Alright, so with that, thank you, Ellis. Go ahead and get your inspiration.
Sweet.
So with that, we go ahead and dive back into the Heart of Ruin. Our campaign opens with the scene of a moving flock of crows passing by the camera as it takes a overhead view of Old Grey Valley. After moving through the swarm, it finds itself rested securely over the town, seeing the now 4 active chimney places, leading smoke up into the air as the sun is near hours before rising, as it moves back to a singular helm that seems to be giving off the most smoke and light, piercing through the smoke itself and coming in through the chimney. We find our party currently better than they were, but still not at 100% with the events that happened and the information that is now flooding through their heads. We watch as they take the remaining time to prepare, at best they do. Go ahead and describe some things you guys do while waiting for these hours to pass for sun to rise.
Finish sleeping. Because our long rest was interrupted, so some of us haven't finished a long rest yet.
I would like to attempt to finish my long rest.
Scammon does go back to keeping watch, but looking over the innocents. I suppose it might trying to protect the perimeter.
So everyone keeping to themselves majorly, some taking the opportunity to get as much sleep as possible with the oncoming threat nearing the morning. The time passes by and the sound of impacts similar to like hurricane winds seem to rattle the house, that it gets to its apex less than 10 minutes before the sun should be rising. And then, as almost as if a flick of a switch happened, the noises stop. Everything goes silent. And with it, a deafening gape from the loss of noise seems to ring in everybody's ears as it readjusts to nothing but gentle winds from the winter season blowing into the house. A few more minutes go by, and eventually the young master of the home comes out of his cupboard and goes upstairs to do something that you guys aren't too sure of. But by the time he comes back, to those that are awake, he comes into the room and speaks up. The sun's up. It looks like they're gone.
Scammon's nods. Good. I'm sorry about what happened last night.
Don't be. Whatever that wasn't my mother.
He shakes his head. You're right, it wasn't.
You'll be leaving then.
When the others wake up, yeah. You're welcome to come with us. Myself and the bloke in armour. Plan on keeping an eye on the lot of you.
He scoffs at the thought of that. It's like, I think I'll do fine by myself.
Scammon sort of nods.
Though you have my blessing, and I wish you well.
Same to you, Drake.
And without saying much more, he goes to do the necessary means of unnailing the boards that nailed up the seals on all the doors. Well, the main door. So it can be accessible once again. The sound of the nails being wrenched and overall movement amongst the no longer deafening sound is enough to rouse those that are light sleepers.
Okay.
Good morning, all. I suppose we have to do with good berries for breakfast since we couldn't do any hunting.
Oh, yes. Of course. 1 second. I haven't had a chance to prepare for the morning. If you could. She would go off for a short amount of time to prepare herself for the upcoming day. And with the equivalent time that needed for her to allot herself with the deity of the light, she eventually comes back with a full sack of good berries, handing each of you one.
Thank you, Annalise.
So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very well. So what is it that we are going to do today? Do we make our destination that profaned church?
Well, we must. We're not allowed to leave so long as the curse is here, so... At least that's what they tell us.
Sebastian would look to Kane.
Well, you were talking last night that that's what you wanted to do, right? I'm still staying here with Scram.
If you choose to stay, very well. So, who's deciding to go?
Oh, Scrum and Kane definitely staying. I think last week, or the week before, Annalise was up for it. And Sebastian definitely was because he's doing this whole ghost quest.
Ghost Quest. That sounds like an awesome quest.
Sounds like a really shit TV show.
It
Hi,
it
welcome
really
back to
does.
Ghost Quest.
Sounds like supernatural ghost hunters.
Yeah. Ghost Spacers.
Alright, so then that sounds like just Vanham's going. With Annalise and Sebastian.
Yep.
So as everyone gets prepared for what they decided upon. Any last words that you're going to say to the group as the three of them are leaving?
No, Bannon will just leave.
As to walk Nightxgamer say, good luck, don't get yourself killed. If you can't fight it, run.
If it gets tough out there, don't be afraid to return.
And do what? Hide for the rest of our lives?
Fetch us.
If you wanted to come, you'd be coming now, so there's no point in coming back.
Well, tag us in.
And with that, the three of them leave. As well as this time, Drake also leaves.
I want to watch him as he walks through the doorway, he's in the house. See if there's any physical change.
Go ahead and roll a perception.
7. Back on form.
Great. I see how today's rolls are going to go.
Nothing very perceptible is noticeable when you see him leave, and very much in tow as he leaves, Sarandel makes his way out as well.
You head to church, Randall?
Now back to my home. I need to settle some things.
Almost nods. When you finish, we'll be here.
You better hope.
I do hope. Looked it.
He walks out the door and just gives a thumbs up, not turning his head as he heads to the south towards his house. Leaving Kane and Scram here alone with the still sleeping, I think it was Lisa.
Yep.
As the two of you look to each other,
So what do you make of it all then, you friendship?
Say that again?
What do you make of it all? Situation here.
I mean, Sebastian was pretty adamant about going. But I'm not going to leave any of these civilians by themselves. It all seems a bit too convenient.
I mean, I was introduced to a whole new threat yesterday. Not only can the dust things go through walls, anywhere where there's soot, now like there's ghosts that can possess people, force them to move against their will.
Not only that, but a ghost that claims to be attempting to help us despite everything that's happening.
Though they were wrong about it being an illusion. The three that went to church are right. Probably it's a trick. I'll be honest, I don't know what to do here. It's strange for me. Usually certain.
Before, when we fought that one creature, it was really trying to get to Lisa in particular, right?
At first.
Yeah, until we did some real damage to it. In the silence that falls in the conversation, Scrum just begins wandering around the house. It's like checking windows and stuff like that. Probably end up going upstairs at some point to check out the master bedroom. They never went to.
Looking into it, it seems to have the same description I described before. Master bedroom with a master bed, dresser, all the accoutrements of a happily married couple living there, but untouched for some time now. Though one thing that is awkward when you come in here is an empty picture frame that seems to be left on the ground now.
Is it empty or antique?
Empty.
Alright. Just pick up the frame and put it on the dresser and walk out.
Meanwhile, in another place of the town, the sound of your own painting stomach groans seem to wake you to remind you that another period of time has passed, giving the thought and how many of them you had in succession. You give it that it's getting close to morning time now. The ideas of the people you saw through the boards making their way through the streets all willy-nilly as the sun was going down is still fresh in your mind as you force yourself up, look among the rations that are here with a spiteful glare, being reminded of what it actually does to you to even attempt eating any of that food here. Unknown character, go ahead and describe yourself and what you do in this morning.
Barnabas is about 5 foot nothing, really Danny DeVito shaped guy, really about as wide as he is tall. Already balding and gray. He's going a bit crazy actually, as his hair is kind of starting to fall out even more around the little bit of a monk cut that he has left. He's well, when you see him, he's scrambling about looking through the cupboards. By all the stars, I know I've never prayed to you before, but I know for a fact, if you're up there, I need you to provide me with some sort of food that I can actually freaking eat.
And as you yell this up to nothing, you're answered in kind, as nothing seems to call back to you.
Yeah, buddy, that's where I thought you never existed.
And as you go through that spout, the amounts of food in front of you that, for all purposes, is just ash, just kind of stains your vision. As your thoughts also go back to that group. I mean, hey, if they didn't make it, you haven't tried it yet, but
I saw the group leave to go to the church.
you saw them leave to go to one of the other houses that seemed to give off fire during the night, but that was
Okay.
right at nightfall, so you're not too sure of their fate.
What time of day is it now?
You haven't given it a check to look outside yet since everything's still sealed up, but you're up now, so you assume from your
I
normal
go days
patterns.
at a time without sleeping nowadays, so I got no idea what time of day it is. I'm gonna just kind of pry over one of these window boards just to see if there's any sort of daylight out there.
As you do, the initial sunlight kind of blares into your vision, though you get accustomed to it rather quickly as you see, matter of fact, 3 individuals making their way across the street looking to be a part of that group that you saw earlier.
Well, thank my non-existent god, and I throw the board on the floor, and I start prying more boards off the windows, because I remember the bishop telling us, never go through the doorway. So let's pry all these boards off the windows and try to squeeze through there.
Yeah, given enough time and effort, you get all the boards undone from the window as you push it apart and force yourself through with little effort for you, but you do so. Meanwhile, in the street, Vannon, you pick up on the noise coming from one of the houses, actually the one that you guys condemned for death last night. As you see boards just being ripped off the windows piece by piece.
I give a loud pig-like grunt as I squeeze through the window and flop onto the ground into a garden under the window.
If the other two don't appear to see him, I'll sort of nudge them to look at the man who just flopped out of the window and landed in the garden and say, I believe we have another villager.
I reach back to the window and grab my axe.
And he looks armed.
Good. We're gonna need help, probably.
How far away are they from me?
Give or take around 50 or so feet.
Okay, so not like I don't have to shout to talk to them.
No.
Okay. Well, I do like bring the axe up, like, hey, where's your witch doctor masks? You here to burn more people?
We're not witch doctors. We're passing through and apparently can't leave. So we're going to fix what's wrong with this town so everyone can.
There ain't nobody passing through here.
Apparently.
Only people that's come through that way is them witch hunter peoples. So how'd you get through if you ain't witch hunters?
I guess they took the day off and we're here instead.
He keeps his axe in hand and reaches back to the window to get this big bunch of supplies. It's a big bulky backpack. Looks almost like something you'd go on like a camping trip with. Pulls it through the window and holds it over his shoulder. So you guys, where you headed?
To the source of the problems.
Well, would you mind letting us in on that little secret? Cause we've been here for 6 months with all this shit, and ain't nobody found nothing. There was
I
the preacher
believe
guy that did.
it's in Eastern Gehenna that we have to go.
Well, see, now there's a problem, buddy, because you're not going past city limits here.
That's why we hope to destroy whatever is in the church. And
You mean the
hopefully-
big thing with the black hands that come out at night and just start ripping people apart like confetti paper?
yeah, that one.
Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah, he's a real charmer. How do you propose doing that by this time he's walked up to the group?
Well, Annalise here and Sebastian here are both followers of the light, so I'm assuming that there's something light-worthy they can do.
Oh, good. We're going to give him a magic show. Well, I'm Barnabas. I will be joining you on your suicide mission today. He extends a hand for a handshake.
Vannon will shake it. Name is Vannon.
Well,
Annalise. Yes,
pleasure to meet you, miss.
and I am Sebastian.
And you as well, Mr. Seb. Alright, so, yeah, let's get going.
I do not think that it is smart to condemn another if the need is not there.
I'm sorry I missed that. What?
Do you understand what it is that you're agreeing to do, my friend?
Well, by the sounds of it, it sounds like you guys want to go kill the demon thing that's living under the church, and then maybe that'll let me be able to eat again, because for some reason, I ain't been able to eat nothing for 6 months, and I ain't got any skinnier, so it's kind of a lose-lose situation here. So, yeah, let's do it.
Would you like a chicken berry?
I would not like anything that is not composed of human flesh.
Well, then I'm afraid we can't help you there.
Well, I'm afraid you could, but I'm not really into eating acquaintances. But if you ain't gonna nibble me, I ain't gonna nibble you. That's kind of what I'm saying here. But seriously, like, let's go, cause I ain't eaten in a while. Seriously.
I assume we've been walking along this time, or did we actually stop in front of the garden?
Depends on you.
I would have wanted to walk and talk, so.
All right, cool.
Alright, so as
yeah.
you continue to press on, the four of you find yourselves standing once again in the area that only hours ago nearly claimed the life of Sebastian. Its ruined gates stand like pinnacles of reminders of everything that can go wrong in this place, as you see their iron bars bent in odd angles, the fence itself not having a single straight bar in place, as if whatever's inside had enough force to bend all the bars in awkward angles outwards towards the city. Looking at the temple of light from this angle as the sun comes up also adds into just how much of a wreck it is. looking at the broken windows and all the uncomfortable atmosphere that it brings. You more so, Barnabas, knowing from what you do know, it's hard coming this close to the structure, especially after everything that you've seen since being here.
Yeah.
As you guys continue making your approach.
Is there some sort of like willpower check or something like that I gotta do?
You can if you want to.
What would I roll for that? Wisdom?
Yes. It would be a wisdom save.
Sure, let's do it. How am I feeling about this?
Enough that you can keep it down, but not enough that it isn't visibly on your face of how you're feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, as you make your approach, the rest of the group can easily tell coming to this place is not something very easy for Barnabas as you guys are making your steps. But if you don't address it...
Venom wouldn't address it. I'm guessing that one of the other two probably would, but...
As you guys make your way into the actual building stead, getting past the courtyard, moving into the foyer, immediately you're hit with this outstandingly pungent odor that eats at your sinuses. Something that's acrid in nature. As you see, a lot of the pews and everything that was in here before seem to be mixed up and thrown around, and some turned over more so than they were last year in here. As if the passing of the night put this place into a torrent of movement and change. And then, ever present, a black hole.
Well, that's probably where he's living at.
That's what we assume.
So you think this thing has like an actual physical form, or is it just like, like smoke and stuff?
I haven't seen much more than claws coming out of the church, so I'm not sure.
I mean, it seemed physical enough when it like picked up this guy and like ripped his legs off, then ripped his other leg off, then ripped his arm off, his other arm, then his head after that, through the torso, down the street, kind of bounced around like a ball. It was, seemed pretty physical.
Thanks for that graphic image.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just wanted you to, kind of know what we're getting into here.
So, Venom will just sort of stand to the side and watch Annalise and Sebastian analyze the situation. Maybe do some arcana or religion checks or whatever they would normally do in a situation like this.
So as it gets to the nitty-gritty of what they start to do, Annalise and Annalise and Sebastian try to commune together on what it is they possibly could make of this situation. Meanwhile, going back to the house,
Kane is pacing impatiently.
And Scram.
Scram's just sat on the floor.
Wait, Wait, has Lisa woken up yet?
She is not.
Okay.
Should we, like, poke her, make sure she's still alive?
I look to see if she's still breathing.
She has steady breathing.
She seems fine. Let her rest.
Fair enough. They've been gone a while, haven't they?
Yes, well. How far is the trek to the church?
From what you did before, I think I said it was 15 minutes. Because you guys are in the house that's closest to it.
Haven't heard anything too destructive yet, so maybe they're okay.
Yeah, I'm expecting some sort of like blood-curdling scream to go across the city, and you'll wake up whoever's down there.
Now, what did that young man say he was going to?
Scavenge.
Hopefully he's not too far off.
I don't think he wanders too far. Yay for the rolls we have in this game. Always the best.
When we're out of combat, yeah, our rolls are amazing.
And then when we're in combat, mine are still shit. After a brief silence between the two, scrambled to say, "You think we made the right decision? Staying here."
I hope so.
I'll leave it to your discretion, but I've got a trick up my sleeve. I can get set pretty quick if we need to. Pay attention to Vannon as he's been flying about. Learn something similar.
Something similar.
Theory, at the moment, bit of hokey pocus and jiggery pokery, but I think I can turn myself into a massive bird.
You think you can?
Well,
Where did you learn
logic.
that?
It sort of comes to me in my dreams. So I'm not a
I
massive
see.
gorilla. One or the other.
I feel like a... Oh, never mind. He holds his tongue as he was going to say that he feels the form of a gorilla is not that far off from his current form.
That's a Goliath. I am hurt.
He does not say it, though.
Shoulda.
Yeah, you've been pacing, so if you change your mind and you want to go, let me know. I'll get us over there. I'll be honest, if I hear a blood-curdling scream, I'm half tempted to just go.
True. If... Drake, that's his name, right?
Yep.
If Drake returns, then maybe we should go, but I'm not going to leave Lisa by herself. In case something happened, I can't imagine she'd really be able to take care of whatever it is.
I think Sarandal's coming back at some point as well. You have a chance to speak to him yet? Like, properly?
We spoke a little bit during our watch.
He's not a bad bloke.
No,
He's
he's
hard
not.
at times, but
I'm sure he was expecting to have a larger head count for his statue, but
as we get out of this alive, I'll build him a statue myself. Twice as tall as him. So yeah, 6 foot.
are you very good at sculpture? The art of sculpture making?
Not particular, but he's not exactly a shapely figure. I'll just make something that looks weird, put a mustache on it, and done.
Something that looks weird. He is a strange looking fellow.
He is, but people say the same about me. I'm sure people said the same about you and all your fancy when I get up.
Probably.
A bunch of freaks and weirdos. Why are we trying to save the world again?
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
I've got nothing else on.
It is my duty. Although, I suppose not everyone approves of it.
You do know your dad does approve, right? Like when I spoke to him after you did, like, he was proud of you. It's not
Did he
every day
really
someone
say
turns
that?
down the prince. Yeah. You put the world before yourself. It's a good thing. In your mind, you forsook your own title.
Well, I hope he meant it.
He did.
His words to me weren't quite of the same sentiment.
I think he was just scared.
I think we're all scared.
Yeah. Right, fuck it, I'm getting itchy. I'm gonna go find Drake. You go out there any Todd?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Said, fuck it, I'm getting itchy. I'm gonna go find Drake. Are you gonna be alright here on your own?
Yes, I should be alright.
Right. You hear the catchphrase, blood curdling scream. You hear that, I'll come running.
He just nods.
Right. And Scam's gonna leave the house.
Alright, Scram, go ahead and make an investigation.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my inspiration on this one. Didn't really need it, but fair enough.
Well, you actually did. You were able to pick up on looking at doors that you don't remember being, or windows that you don't remember being closed until you eventually track and pinpoint exactly where you believe Drake probably is currently. On the outside of the window, you see a small pile of like broken table legs and broken chairs slowly starting to stack up on what looks like a sled.
Enter the house knocking on the door as I do. That's quiet again. Drake, you in there?
As you actually call him out, you hear a sigh followed by a him getting out of his hiding place. Don't scare me like that.
I'm sorry, I tried knocking.
That's the point. No one's supposed to be knocking for me.
well, don't want to come like sneaking in and go woogie. Anyway, I'm getting cold feet about the others, and I'd appreciate it if you kept your eye on Lisa for us, just over a short amount of time. So, in trade, how about I help you ransack this place, smash everything up, I'll carry it all back, you get your job done quick, and I can scarp and make sure the others don't die.
He stops to think it over before looking at your stature once again. And then without really saying anything, he just gives a nod.
Mate, trust me, I'm strong. I literally held up a tower once. Fell on me like, but I held it up for a couple of seconds.
I believe it when I see it.
Ask the others. Once it's all over, hell of a story.
So as you begin to go through, helping him dismantle and break some of the forgotten chairs and tables in the derrick houses, we're going to take this time to take a break.
Oh, look at the time already.
So,
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching. We're going to be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's time to stand up, use the bathroom, get something to drink, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys back then. Peace.